Cheerio. So I've watched the Donna Adelson trial all 3 days. And it is so much easier to stay on the treadmill if you're watching or listening to something you really enjoy. And I've worked out twice a day, all 3 days. And I mean, I just keep going and going and going, and it's wonderful. So I think, so I watched the trial on Carl Steinbeck, and I really enjoy him. But during, people are chit-chatting away, and sometimes I get to watch the chat, but I'm usually doing something. And during the chat, I made a comment, and someone said, "Oh, Meredith, you should cover this case." And I was like, wow, teeny tiny world, someone watched me. So here I am covering the case again for many, many, many times. But I'm just going to go over, for the most part, this trial for a couple days. First off, if I were the prosecution, I think they could just, it's done, your turn, conviction. I don't see how you could find Donna not guilty. Her attorneys have done nothing, but there's nothing they can do. So that's part of the problem, is she is guilty. They've talked about how bossy she is to, everyone in her family. I'll get to that in a moment. But she seems to be doing the exact same thing with her attorneys. She's just constantly writing notes, passing notes to these people. How about her oldest son, Dr. Rob, coming and testifying? That had to break his heart. But one of the things he talked about was when he asked his mother, I'm trying to think, they arrested the shooters. That may have been the question. I apologize if I'm wrong. And then now, I'm sorry, I don't remember what Georgia asked him, but he said, that was the last time I spoke to my mother. And it's been years. So Donna and Harvey, Donna played guilty. They acted guilty. Everyone said that. It was just pain. I can't imagine how Rob felt. Okay, so of course I'm reading the chit-chat. Everyone said that Georgia, she seemed a little down. And I agree with that. She wasn't totally on her game. I like her being a little snarky. But Georgia dresses like she shops at Coldwater Creek in the business section. I noticed this last time, but today she dresses like a grandmother. I mean, whereas Sarah Dugan, she looks all cool with her hair is perfect. But Georgia, honey bunny, it's 2025 and you ain't 60 years old. Donna's attorney, I do not remember her name right now. She seems like a female dog. There's no other way to put it. She comes across bitchy, but again, there's not much people can say. Donna is guilty, and it's crystal clear. Donna's attorney, the female one, had been a judge. And the official story is she had to step down because of her disability. But the behind-the-scenes story is that there was a little fraud going on, and rather than embarrass her, they just said, why don't you step down because you're a disability. So if you notice this, the first time she was in front of the jury, she limped the entire time. Now she's limped less and less and less. And I don't believe that she limped whatsoever today. Harvey's sitting there. Okay, so the first 2 days, they had 2 rows. I assume you're watching the trial, so some of this you know. They had 2 rows behind Donna with the reserve sign on it. And I looked at that, and only Harvey's sitting there, and I said, well, that's not a good look for the jury. Then it's clear no one is there supporting Donna. Today, they made it only 1 row. And yes, Harvey was still the only one there. But today Harvey was taking notes, and he was taking a plethora of notes. A, why are you taking notes, Harvey? And B, why are you still in the United States of America? When I was standing at that airport jetway, getting ready to take my flight to Vietnam, and then my connecting flight to Dubai, and I had over $10 million access to. As they're arresting Donna and he's helping take her necklace off, I would have given her a kiss, watched the police walk her away, and then looked at the gate agent and said, I'm still getting on the flight. He had a first-class ticket. I literally would have left. The police were right there. I would not have put a contract hit out on someone. But if they've they put my son in prison for the rest of his life, and now they've arrested my wife, well, I'm next. Hell, get on that airplane, and as soon as, the seatbelt sign goes off and the flight attendant gets up and starts serving drinks, I'd order a champagne. Plus, you got an empty seat right next to you because your wife's not on the flight. Goodness, I'm shocked he didn't leave the country. Now, granted, the big things they have on Harvey are the Dolce Vita recording, where the FBI is sitting a table over and the video's through the dots, in the seat divider. And then I think there's an email where he says, love, Dad. And they're very, very careful in the emails. However, they still say things. But something else, I watched the very end of the trial today was the forensic guy. And he was talking about emails and cell phones. And finding the cell phones together, where one was and another one was a huge thing. So, I know that they're following us everywhere with their cell phones. I'll talk about buying a new Dyson today. And later on tonight, there'll be an ad for Dyson vacuum cleaners or some sort of vacuum cleaners on whatever feed I'm on. But it's creepy how much... they linked all that. And remember, Sigfredo, Katie's baby daddy, I'm going to get to Katie in a moment, called Harvey one time, accidentally. He thought he was calling Charlie. You say, well, how did he get Harvey's phone number? Well, he called the office, and the answering machine said, and if it's an emergency, you may reach Dr. Adelson at blah, 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 8675309. And so that's how Sigfredo got the phone number, and he called and blah, blah, blah. Okay, Katie. Katie had 3 attorneys, and not one of them was able to talk her into taking a plea deal to where the moment she said yes, and the moment she gave her proffer, she would have been handcuffs off, released from jail that day. And they made that clear. That day. The moment you give your proffer, you're getting out. And she claims, well, I didn't want to test against my baby daddy because he was facing the death penalty. What? You had no problem giving him the job. The job of unaliving someone, which would make him face the death penalty. That's the most ignorant thing. Now, in this trial, she did make a statement that sometimes you lie for so long, you start believing your own lie. And not until later did that makes sense. But I'm still shocked that not one of her attorneys was able to explain to her, girl, you're going down. You're going to waste the boob job. What a waste of fake boobs. Well, if she's like Mackenzie Shirilla, she's going the other way, and it's going to make me blush. But hopefully she's not being in a train or getting a train. Something. How horrifying. And the thing... I won't get into Mackenzie. Okay. June Onchinda. Excuse me. Possibly one of the dumbest women, definitely the dumbest women who's testified in any of these trials. Do you remember she got lost at Charlie's trial when she had to testify? So they had to delay court or put someone else in front of her. She did the exact same thing this time. This woman does not want to testify. She didn't want to testify against Charlie in the last trial. She didn't want to testify this time. She just can't remember anything. Well, a couple of things that she noticed Charlie was having communication with Katie. That's not, that's not cool. You're like, have you guys broke up or what's, I would flat out ask, but June's quite stupid. And June, if you're watching, which I'm sure you're not, you're stupid. She struggled. They didn't allow her, maybe they didn't, when she made the comment, well, he took it away this time, and they allowed her, when she made the statement that Donna said that Dan was haunting her from the grave. You know, these Adelsons, you know, I found out during this trial that, what's her name? Wendy, I need a nose job and I sleep around Adelson, was supposed to close on a house October 31st. And on that day, Charlie sent her, I believe, this was just a text, and I'll tell you why in a moment, that said, don't buy the house. You're not going to be living in Tallahassee very longer. Now, that may have been a different text, but I think it was on that day, October 31st. And she backed out of the contract on, the day you're going to sign. Assume you bought a house before that closing day. It's terribly fun. It's your big, big Christmas day. The reason I called Wendy a hose bag, when she was with Jeff setting him up, she was apparently seeing multiple other people. And I don't know that she was waiting many dates to get horizontal with them. This is just my opinion. But back to June. Dumb. I learned about some things on 2020. Oh, it registered then. The dollar bills stapled. She did not want to testify against Charlie, and she did not want to testify against Donna. And I believe Donna will also be convicted. I've said that many times. I'll probably say it again. Jeff Lacoste. What a beta male, if I've ever seen. Prince Harry is a beta male. The tight end, Travis Kelce, is a beta male. And I hear he proposed today. I could give two craps. I'm not a fan of that woman. I do not find her attractive. Please do not unsubscribe or thumbs down. If you find her beautiful and you love her and you're a Swiftie, God bless you. I am not a fan. Remember, I'm also really not into music and stuff and television. I know it's weird. I listen to YouTube all day long. I consider that something different. But on the second date he had with Wendy, she cried. She's talking about her ex-husband and she cried. Siren, woo, woo, woo. Get the heck out. A girl doesn't cry on a second date and start bringing up her ex-husband. If that doesn't send warning bells, I don't know what does. I find Jeff Lacoste a pretty decent guy. He seems sort of lame. He went to yoga, and I don't understand yoga, but a dude going to yoga, if he does he wear the little tight pants? So if a woman wears little tight pants, sometimes they're too tight, and it's called a camel toe. I'd never heard that. My husband had to teach me that. Not this one, the last one. But if a boy wears those little tight pants, doesn't it make his junk sort of obvious and stuff? So what do they call that? On a woman, it's a camel toe. What's it called on a man? Sorry. But I do fully believe she was setting him up. And I hope they arrest Wendy. I do not understand why they have not arrested her yet. And I really do not understand why they didn't arrest Charlie, Donna, and Wendy all at the same time. I don't think that really they have that much tangible evidence on Harvey. However, if they had arrested him with the other three, maybe that would have made more sense with Harvey. So I said I listened to the forensic guy. I don't know if I actually said this comment because I really liked it. It's like you're leaving breadcrumbs. I don't think I heard that from Carl Steinbeck or his brother John. But if I did, I stole it. That's how they busted everybody. They were able to track this person to here and this person to here, and Donna to Charlie's house. And 10 minutes later, Katie shows up at Charlie's house. If you're going to do this, leave your cell phone at home. Don't do any codes because the cops can figure that out. And if you do bury a body, put endangered plants right on top of it so that it's illegal to dig it up. Okay, tell me what you think. If you're still watching right now, I wasn't that long. I'm shocked. Hook me up, hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll watch the trial and keep giving my 2 cents. God bless you, God bless this America, and toodaloo.